color me mine, pero make it España.
It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and/or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margie McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margie McGee, and with me, as always, is my dear friend and co-host.
Hello, I am Ramona Ramirez Higgins, and as George Costanza would say, I'm back, baby. Just kidding.
Minus one gallbladder.
Minus one gallbladder. I still have not worn a real bra since this surgery happened. I did not know that there was going to be an incision that I now refer to as my second upper level belly button, for lack of a better term. That's like right where like your bra could hit. And the thought of like wire near that incision really sounds terrible. So I've been braless for the better part of 2 weeks, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's like part of it is great and part of it is also like, this is very uncomfortable. I don't know if it's an ADHD thing or a sensory thing or whatever, but like my quest to find the perfect bralette it's not proving to be fruitful. So I'm just taking this opportunity. Plus, I really haven't left the house. I haven't driven in almost 2 weeks. It's just, just that weirdness where you feel off. I think that's what you told me a couple days ago. Like you just feel off. When you're in that space, you're recovering from being really sick or a surgery. You just can't imagine you're ever going to return to that version of yourself pre-surgery, like where you're like, I'm going to just wear a fucking bra and I'm just going to drive my car. But like I felt so shitty that I was like, I'm going to not pay attention on the road as well as I do when I'm feeling like myself. So I am not comfortable driving. So I didn't. I'm recording in my kitchen today because
I love it.
I don't want to sit on an uncomfortable stool in a claustrophobic space, which 9 times out of 10, I love being in there. But today I needed to be close to a water source or a whatever, like just be comfortable in the chair I'm sitting in for however long we talk.
Look, at this age, I'm not meant to live an uncomfortable life.
Yeah, dude. Seriously,
Parker
you're
Posey
right.
from The White Lotus.
Oh,
It's my favorite line of that whole season.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, God. So many good quotes from that show. But it felt very sad to me to not record last week, and I'm excited to talk about these ladies with you.
But I do just want to say, because I was reminding myself as well, and we talked about a little bit how like a surgery is such a confusing thing because it's a scheduled event and the doctor performs the surgery and leaves the room. But as I was telling you, it's like all you did was schedule a stab wound. You had a scheduled stabbing. And then the doctor leaves the room and they're like, see you in a couple weeks. And you have to recover from blunt force trauma to your abdomen. So like, it just isn't as, I don't know. I feel like there's this medical myth of like, you go in, you get the procedure and you're better. It's like, no, there's a whole period in between where your body is like, what the fuck did you just do? You just like put a bunch of knives in me and scraped around and took some shit out and reorganized stuff. And I'm just supposed to like get back into it and wear a bra and drive a car. No, you had a scheduled stabbing and you need to recover in the time it takes for your body to make sense of what happened and heal. So I'm just so glad that you're like on the road to recovery.
Me too. Yeah. I had pizza for dinner the last 2 nights in a row. Josh and Leo have been out of town so that Leo could visit his cousin before school started for both of them. And so I've been at home by myself for a couple of nights. And yeah, I ate pizza both nights in a row. I was like, well, I don't want anything but pizza because I hadn't eaten pizza since literally hours before my gallstone attack in June. And it was everything. It just tasted so fucking good. It was so fucking good because I was starving. I didn't eat for like a week and a half. Nothing sounded good. Nothing felt good while I was eating it. Just, I don't know. They had to reroute shit in there. They blow your fucking body up with carbon fucking dioxide so they have room to move the instruments around. Now, I did not learn that that's what they do until after my fucking surgery when I'm like, what is happening? My whole abdomen, like because of the incision in my belly button, like cramming everything in, I looked like I had a Muppet mouth, or it was like a hamburger bun. Like it was just this like fluff and then like a line and then fluff. And it was the most intense pain I've ever had. Okay, in recent memory, I'm sure there's been other pains, but like it was just wild. It was wild and it took forever to leave. And I never thought it would. And I think there's still some swelling going on. Who gives a shit? Oh my God, why am I talking about
I
this
think
for
it's
so
important
long?
to talk about because, again, you didn't know about this, and I only knew about this because I had a friend who had a different surgery, but the same kind of thing. It was through her abdomen, and they blew it up and did the arthroscopic surgery, which is great for preventing infection and, you know, all of like keeping all of that, those hateful strep bacterias, staph bacterias out of your body so you don't get sick like that. But the recovery is longer and it's painful. And when your body that's not used to being blown up from an external gas source gets blown up from an external gas source, our bodies, it's not like you can talk to it ahead of time and be like, you're going to need to process a whole lot of carbon dioxide. It just is like, what's happening? This is all trauma. This is insane. And it slows down to like figure out how to manage it and fix it properly. And our bodies are amazing in that most often they do. But like it requires time and pain and patience. And as you experience sitting in bed with your own thoughts, because you're not allowed to like move and walk around, which is like the cruelest part of the recovery process, if you ask me. But
Dude, the thoughts part, the thoughts. Living with your own thinking, which inevitably just takes a nosedive into just like self-pity and just bleakness. Like it reminded me of, you know, depressive episodes and fear. You know, am I ever going to feel normal again? Is this ever going to? And also, it's so infuriating to me. I understand the importance of doctors and have reverence for their skills. Where I feel the medical industry across the board could use some tutoring, some consciousness expanding, if you will. My surgeon might do this surgery all day, every day, Monday through fucking Friday. So he knows the ins and outs. He knows that there's not drama at the end of a healing process, but they don't tell you what to expect on the way, on your journey of healing. The only direction I was given was to stay on top of the pain, obviously, and eat soft food. What the fuck is soft food? What the fuck is soft food? Yogurt, mashed potatoes?
but once I chew it, everything's soft food. Like that's where I would
Right,
get confused too. I'd be like, I don't know what you're saying. What does that mean?
And I was reading the after visit summary, like the care guide, and it doesn't say shit. I wish, and I'm going to say this in my survey, like if there's one thing I'm vocal. Like I am the squeaky wheel. I am the squeaky wheel. I would have appreciated like things you may encounter. This, and this. This is what we did. Things you may encounter on your healing process. You know, here is a list of things that you might find more comfortable to eat as you heal. Like not make definitives, but just like so I can be like, is it normal to have these like walnut-sized, hard swelling areas around my incision site? Because it's creepy. I don't know, you know?
The medical industry is Lisa Hochstein. They are so, they don't want to they're everyone but Lisa Hochstein. They do not want to put anything in writing because someone will take them to court and sue over it. They'll say, they suggested that I eat this and the language was misleading. And so I ate this and my other, you know what I mean? So they just are like, you're on your own. Sorry about it. Good luck. because they don't want people taking them to court. So, but that's where we are, we are a village and we lean on each other. And like I was able to share with you the experience that my friend had. And it sounds like your recovery is following a similar, like initially really slow and painful, and then somewhat expedient relief once it begins, but it just takes a while for it to begin. But they're not going to tell you that because it's certainly not in writing, my God.
I cannot tell you how helpful it was when you shared with me what your friend's experience was. It brought me so much comfort to know, like, oh, okay, this is very typical. This is typical. This is not just unique to me. And if anyone is listening who has this surgery ahead of them, you send me an email to atherapeuticdose@gmail.com and I will write out I will write out my experience. And if it helps at all, because I think it's true. Like I talked to some people that had this surgery, but it's been a while since they've had it. So they forget. Now, my C-section traumatized me so much that I don't fucking forget that. Like I will not fucking, okay, that's not, let me rephrase this. There could be time where I am able to refrain that trauma in a way where it will make me want to like cry when I think about it. But, there are some surgeries like my knee surgery. I had surgery on my knee that I don't, like I remember it a little bit, but not like a ton,
But those were also different surgery. Like those were classic incisions. Like the blow up with gas arthroscopic thing is sort of a new phenomenon, again, with lots of great benefits on the other side of your recovery. The recovery is just longer and there's just more weird shit that goes on in our bodies. Like, yeah, I was in close proximity to my friend who had that surgery as she was going through it. And it was like the gas moved around under her skin and it was really weird. And it's like, and it's not going through normal channels. So you don't like burp or fart it out. It just like has to get out your pores someday. And that takes a lot of days. And it was crazy. It was like, there was a bubble behind her neck one day. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is nuts. And of course the doctor wasn't like, please expect for like a pillow of air to rise up through your shoulder blade and land under your neck. You'll be fine.
Wild to have my shoulder hurt from gas pain. And when I say gas pain, it's like carbon dioxide. Shoulder pain from gas. Excuse me? What? Shoulder pain from gas? What the fucking, it's so wild. I was shocked. But yeah, it's a thing.
And you have lived to tell. Like, I'm so glad you took the time off so you could sit still and heal properly and walk in small circles to move the gas around, but like not do anything dramatic so as to prolong a recovery period. So I'm glad you're back in a way where you're feeling like energized and like yourself-ish, as much as you can at this stage.
Yes. And it happened like seemingly overnight a few days ago. Like I felt like shit. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I did laundry all day. What? But yeah, having people take care of me, so uncomfortable. My mom came to visit and she's like, what do you need? What can I do? And I was like, I don't know. I can't, I couldn't ask for help. It was so fucked up. Okay, let me reframe that. I was humbled. I was like, wow, I don't feel worthy of this. I just get to lay in bed and rest. That's my job right now. They told me you need to take 2 weeks off work. I am a stay-at-home mom, so I felt guilty about that.
The stay-at-home mom of a 9-year-old son. It's not like you're just like watching a self-sufficient cat,
You're right.
I know that boy. He's, he has activities and
he does.
Needs and
yeah.
Anyway,
I'm just very glad to be back behind the mic, so to speak.
Me too. And this episode, I laughed so hard at some parts. Maybe I was just needing comic relief, so I focused in on some of that. But I thought this was I love this season of Miami.
It.
I'm so sad that more people aren't watching it. It's so good. I really wish it was, but maybe it'll be like how it was before, and people will find their way to it, I only first watched The Real Housewives of Miami during the pandemic, I think. I wasn't on
Wow.
board initially, but then the second I got in, I was like, I'm never leaving this pool. This is like the best swim you can have on this channel. So
It's so good.
I loved
And
it.
Salt Lake City is the only other one that I think I can't wait for that to start September 16th. Orange County is a horror show. We'll get there when we talk about what we watched, but it's dark.
I don't want to watch Tamra for one more minute. I can't stand her lying at me. I can't stand her insane co-opting of like mental health crises and someone else's very, very real diagnosis that she's making all about her. Wow. 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 I couldn't take it.
It's something else. It is something else. However, on The Real Housewives of Miami, season 7, episode 12, episode called Uncivil in Seville, we rejoin the cast at dinner. There are two little groups. There's Stephanie, there's Larsa, there's Alexia and Julia, and they're to the side reading texts Jody has sent to Larsa. And then we have Marisol, Lisa, Adriana, and Gertie dealing with Lisa, and Kiki dealing with Lisa, having to sign an affidavit regarding her divorce. And she has got to do it ASAP. And the entire cast then reconvenes at the table while Lisa steps away to deal with her legal shit. And Larsa Pippen has the audacity to say, it's been 3 years regarding the time that Lisa has spent dealing with her divorce. And she's pissed that since Lisa arrived at dinner, the dynamic has changed because of the divorce talk. So, of course, I had to do this. I had to Google how long Pippen's divorce took. And it took years as well. They filed, I think, in 2016. I think they tried to reconcile or thought they could reconcile in 2017, discovered that they could not. And I believe their divorce was final in 2020. But it's like the projection of it all, man. Like Larsa and Erica Jane from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I really believe that they are on the spectrum of missing the for them gene.
Empathy gene. Hell yeah.
They can't. Larsa's something else.
She's just so self-centered. It's like, it's truly amazing. It really is like a like the eighth wonder of the world of like how you can make everything about you. And it's something you don't even need to get into. Like, so these texts going back and forth between Jody and Larsa seem to stem from their fight that they had in Italy a million years ago. Larsa is delusional herself, saying, I don't remember saying anything rude to him. We see flashbacks of her calling him crazy and psycho. But the two of them, Team Nobody, the two of them go back and forth with text messages. And it just makes me think of like, you know, something I learned in, I don't know which 12-step fucking room, but where they say you don't have to attend every fight you're invited to. Just stop texting back, Larsa. Stop texting, Jody. One of you guys stop it and it ends. It's just text messages, but they're insane. And I just have to say, Adriana in this episode is my MVP of, like, she is the voice of reason in this group. And she's also nuts, but like, Marisol comes back to the table to tell everyone, well, I've just found out from Larsa that Jody's been texting her. And Adriana says there's a legal motion that needs to be taken care of first. Just like, come on, guys. Gertie's trying to like, you know, siphon Lisa off to a private space so that she has 1 hour to sign this affidavit and get it submitted. And Gertie's trying to get her to take care of that. And Larsa just goes, I want to get off the ride. And Adriana says to Larsa, there are two separate issues. You know, one is this legal matter involving custody of her children and her financial livelihood moving forward from this moment on. And the other is Jody texting you. Hit do not disturb. Put it on silent. Block the bitch. What do you need to hear from Jody? Like, Larsa, ew. She's insane.
She's completely insane. And by this time, Adriana just told Stephanie that she went to mass earlier that day because she's sensitive to all the drama going on in the group. Now, to your point about Adriana being your MVP, 100% until the end when she lets loose with a macro aggression towards Kiki.
Oh, yes. I mean, again, they're all ever unforgivable.
Completely.
But there are a couple more moments in this where Adriana, again, like, so Gertie shuttles Lisa off to try and deal with this. Alexi's like, well, I don't believe it has to happen in an hour. And Adriana says Lenny is probably fucking with Lisa, trying to set her up to fail, to lose money, to lose custody. Like, divorce is awful. If you've ever met anyone who's been through one, even the best ones are atrocious. And this is the shit that happens. Of course, he waited for her to be in Spain when she couldn't get in front of a notary after hours in Spain. So, and put all this, like, it's hell. It's horrific. So I loved Adriana in that moment of being like, I hate seeing people, being ganged up on and being hurt when they're already in pain. And I don't like Lisa, but I don't, this is not the time for people to be piling on. Like, literally her life is at stake, her kids and her stability or financial stability, like everything is on the line in this hour. God knows if it was Larsa, the whole restaurant would have to shut down so she could, whatever.
Ay.
And Adriana did say, this is my last little Adriana voice of reason moment, where she goes, I understand that Larsa might be tired of issues that Lisa has had, but I don't appreciate when people gang up on somebody when they're already down. And I just wrote empathy, exactly like you said. Like, she says, I understand Larsa, and I also have these feelings because Lisa's in pain. And I was like, well, look at you, able to take it all in.
Yeah. And oh well, not perfect yet with Adriana. That applies to her too. So Lisa signs her stuff. She rejoins the table and she starts the conversation with Pips about the Jody text. And Lisa reads their exchange and it seemed kind of benign to me.
Inconsequential at best.
Right?
Jody was like, Larsa, stop. And Larsa was like, we're not fighting. Have a good night. And Jody was like, great. It's in the past. Let's let it go. To me, that's like, I've had much more explosive text messages between me and the Toyota dealership when they left the oil cover off my thing when they switched out you know what I mean? And again, I blame Jody and Larsa for staying in it. Somebody stop texting and it's over. Nobody cares. It's fine.
I just had, was it 48 hours ago, 72 hours ago, a text exchange with Leo's orthodontic office.
That was more spicy than this. Yeah.
That was more spicy than this. Yes. Mm-hmm. And it was, I will say it. It was like, oh no, I'm fucking right. And I'm going to prove why I'm right. And here is my evidence why I'm right. And if you push back at me, I'm going to have something, again, more evidence. So stop. And it was completely about being right and not letting it go. I could not let the mouse go. I couldn't do it.
And that's
I didn't do it.
That's 100% what Larsa's doing because Lisa rightly reflects that Larsa is acting like a victim and that, tells us in a confessional that Larsa has a special skill of making herself the victim at all times. And then Larsa lets this somehow devolve into a fight about yelling on an elevator and like a yeast infection gets brought in, yelled about at a dinner table. I was like, what? None of this matters. Like, this is insane. Larsa is literally insane. I do feel like she's one of those people, like, any attention is good attention. And so if all focus is not on her for a positive reason, she will make herself a victim and stir the pot to put the attention on her in a negative way, which was like, because everyone was like, a yeast infection? What are you talking about? Like, it was crazy.
It was insane.
In Spain. Can you imagine? I would die to go to Spain and sit in a gorgeous restaurant in Spain. What are you doing, Larsa? You need a bigger life, my dear.
She really does. She does need a bigger life. Oh my God. And I know there's been a lot of the group has had a lot of conversations about Lisa and the note taking, and Marisol points out like the fucking obvious. Lisa takes notes. She does it because of her divorce. I completely understand why. She's just in a habit. And we'll get there. I have a note about it when the next time that comes up, so we can move on. Anything else about this dinner before we go to
Adriana? Yeah, again, had a little voice of reason moment saying like, Lisa takes notes to keep things straight. And she's like, in this group, that's not a bad idea. And I was like, yeah, I think that's right. And it's
Yeah.
true. Lisa's in legal trauma right now. Like, and you do get like, I've been in situations like when I'm going through like something, you get in the habit of taking contemporaneous notes because you don't know which detail will make or break your case. And your lawyers are always grateful when everything's timed and blah, blah. It's like, it is kind of a crazy headspace, but I wish, again, so few people are willing to look at the comprehensive picture, and at least like Marisol and Adriana could have an eye on that for Lisa in this moment. So great. And then Julia can't handle feelings, so she goes around the table and starts kissing everyone, and Gertie slips her tongue. And now this is why I love this show, because I was like, what is happening? This is insane. Fucking love it.
I watched this episode, I want to say 2.5 times, and I totally missed that.
Julia kissing everyone?
I didn't miss her kissing everyone. Like I don't know. I missed the Gertie and the tongue.
I
don't
mean,
know
Julia
how.
was just going person by person, and Gertie, I think Gertie's just used to kissing in a certain way. And so she kissed how she would kiss, and a tongue came out, and everyone was like, woo. And then we've moved on from
course.
Lisa's notes taking and a yeast infection and Jody. And now we're just going woo at Gertie and Julia French kissing in Spain. Fine.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So the next day we have 2 group activities. And the first group is the tile painting group. And it's Marisol, Alexia, Stephanie, and Julia and Pips, as Marisol calls her. And they're at some sort of color me mine, pero make it España.
That's really what it felt like. I was like, you guys are wasting your time in Spain. What are you doing? Sitting down?
I know that it was in a historically significant space, that was like the place where they first started making these tiles, which of course were the tile making process and the way the tiles ended up on the walls of these grand spaces. It was stolen from another culture, Anyway, just gotta #never forget
Like
that
we
shit.
do.
Okay, yep. So, and then there's the historical landmark tour, AKA the Adriana art history lesson, and there's Adriana, Kiki, Lisa, and Gertie on that one, and they visit the Alcazar Castle, and Adriana knows every fucking thing about it.
I would love to travel with Adriana.
Me too.
She does everything that I would love. Like, she knows so much history. That place was like stunning. She pointed out everything and knew so much history. I was like, you would be a dream. Like, that's how I like to travel. I love that stuff. Because I think they put on the screen that that palace was built in like 900 AD or something. That's so long ago.
So long ago. Like,
And it's
I
so
can't
ornate
conceive
and
of it.
gorgeous. Me neither. I couldn't even like pause the thing to look at it again, because I was like, my brain won't understand that even if I see that number again. That's so long ago. It's bonkers. I feel old. 900 AD is actually old. That's crazy.
It is. It is. And what is it? It took 500 years to make that castle. Wild.
We did miss one part of the tile painting thing, where the little side trip they took to everyone drawing dicks, which I did think was hilarious. Only because Julia, in her confessional, everyone in their confessional winds up drawing a dick, because Marisol apparently is prone to do such a thing. Julia gets all incensed. She's like, what, you think a lesbian doesn't know how to draw a dick? And then she literally draws, she goes, oh, it looks like dog bone. And it really does. Something terrible happened at the tip of that person's manhood, and it just made me laugh. I don't know. These ladies are great. They really give us everything.
They really do. I can't believe people aren't watching this more.
I know.
So back to Color Me Mine. Stephanie asks Larsa if Larsa wants Lisa on the fucking plane. This woman cannot let go of leveraging this
Private jet. That's her whole personality.
whatever gets you through the day, man. Like, I'm just so grossed out. I'm so grossed out. And then Julia tells the group that this trip to Marbella is significant, more than she's let on, because she's going to ask her friends that live there to be the godparents of her her sons. So
Because she wants them to have male figures in their lives. Now, these male figures are overseas, but
and
okay.
I thought that too. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe it's not that big of a deal because we have FaceTime now or whatever. But at the same time,
Oh, God, it was weird. It's for the show and I appreciate it, but like, don't do that. Don't say like, we are going to have male figures in your life. It's like, no, they're in Spain and that's great. And if I was one of those boys, I could wait till I was like 14 and I could get on a plane to go visit my godfathers. That would be amazing. But come on, dude.
I feel like Julia is really scraping the bottom of the barrel I feel like she's actively looking for reasons to villainize Lisa.
And Gertie and
Yes.
everyone.
Yes,
Like she just
absolutely.
needs to be the savior, and that means everyone else has to be a villain. She's hard at work.
I know that they're calling Pips the victim. Lisa called Pips the victim, but I feel like Julia is really like she's clawing her way to that victim. She wants that prize real bad of like number one victim.
But this is why I love this show, because everyone is on that ladder clawing and biting ankles, and not a single person hasn't had a moment where they're like, and again, you spot it, you got it. Like I say that because I relate to that, where I always like to think that I'm the Gertie who will whisk someone off and help them take care of their legal issues, and then also pitch a fit about whatever, a Captain Sandy dinner. Nobody's beyond reproach. Certainly
Nobody.
there's a spectrum, but like,
There's a reason why these women are housewives and you and I are not housewives. Yes,
yes.
I would be crying constantly. I would be crying. I would be crying all the time.
Yes. Stephanie's like mental break that she had after the dinner, that would be my entire existence as a housewife. I'd be like, can we go? Can we go? Can we go now? Like I would just be constantly like having a full panic attack and sobbing. It's overwhelming. Julia says she's going to have a talk with Lisa about being on good behavior on this visit because it is a visit of import having to do with her kids. And then Stephanie is like instantly pissed off that the group lets Lisa get away with everything. And she says she has come in and ruined the environment. She ruined it. And they replayed that word a bunch of times. And I was like, I love ruined. That's one of my favorite words. But Stephanie gave us a new variation. And I was like, oh, she ruined it. She ruined it. Okay, Stephanie.
Ruined. And no one said anything. No one said like ruined. What the fuck is like that should at least gotten a snarky confessional, like ruined, like I can see it, like a montage of them saying, ruined? But I love it when you say ruined. You ruined it. Like I say that in my own life now, my own non-podcast, regular, not behind a mic.
That's just how little Stephanie registers to these women. I just don't think they care. Like Stephanie tries to take a stand and be like, I don't trust that Lisa won't get on my plane and cause an issue. And I'm not willing to take that chance. As if like you having a 22-minute private jet flight makes you somebody. Shut up. Anyways. And then she tries to tell us about jetiquette. Stephanie is really trying way too hard. And again, either she'll be a one and done or some grave downfall in her real life will befall her that will make her actually interesting in a second season. Because this I could do without. Just stop talking about your private jet. Stop making seating charts and jetiquette and just go away.
As far as the drama in her personal life, it came out, I don't know who found this. Probably somebody on Reddit. The house that she recently showed Larsa, the one that they were completely gutting, it was foreclosed on. So they took out an $8 million loan, couldn't pay it. So they no longer have that house. And also Masood's first wife, her name was Maria. And what is Masood's last name? It's something that starts with SHO, and her name is Maria. So Shoma. I feel like Shoma was probably the name before Stephanie came in. Stephanie was the wife's assistant, FYI. So she's really a housewife. That's what I should say.
Well, and once some of her, like the pretense of her first season gets stripped of her, she could be really interesting because she does have a temper, which I like. And she is rich enough by proxy through Masood to not give a rip about anyone and be able to speak her mind without hesitation. But I just don't like how she's trying to angle and place herself in the group. It's unpleasant.
But that plane, man, that's her
It's all she
whole
has.
value is her plane and her fucking Birkins.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
She put Larsa on a plane to have caviar to take a 45-minute flight to pick up her dogs. And now this whole trip to Spain has become about who's sitting where on a 22-minute commuter flight. Like, blow me, honestly. Just take a car. And then Larsa says she's worried about Lisa taking notes, and Marisol's worried that Lisa will take some sort of notes that'll get her sued. I'm like, you guys, it's still Lisa Hochstein. It's not like she really is, you know what I mean? And there's cameras rolling. Get over it.
Also, yes, exactly. There's cameras fucking rolling. It's already being documented what you're saying. Also, if someone was to record me talking in my real life, if my group of friends, which they would never do, but if they were, guess what? I'm not saying anything. They're going to be like, this is the most boring shit, or this is the most like, she's a real annoying. Like what she's
People
talking
who have
about.
nothing to hide nothing.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say.
All
Thank
of
you,
y'all
Margie.
are weird and something is shady.
Exactly.
And I lightly get it, like if you're trying to protect stuff from your personal life. But I'm with you. Like there's certain things that in my personal life I don't want like the whole world knowing. But also if it came out, I would be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm well aware of it, and I'm well in the trenches of dealing with it. And like I don't know. Is this interesting still?
Exactly.
Okay. So
Exactly.
I don't know. It's also dumb.
So dumb. So back on the art history tour, Lisa really, she endeared herself to me in this episode. And you know how strongly I feel about Lisa.
I thought you would have looked cute in her outfit.
Oh, I love that outfit. Thank
I
you,
thought you would have
Margie.
looked I was like, ooh, Ramona would wear that well, including the
Aw.
bow. Not everyone can pull that off, but Lisa looked cute, and I was like, Ramona would look great in that.
Oh, I really liked that outfit. I really thought it was adorable. So Lisa says that this day was one of the most times she's been in the moment on the entire trip, and shares that the lawsuits take up the majority of her time in her life. And I believe it. Lenny is
Relentless.
petty and relentless.
And rich. And he can
rich.
fuck her. If she loses focus for a second, he will strike her while she's down. Clearly. He tried to on this trip. He's like, you have 1 hour. Good luck. Everything in Spain is closed. Thank God for Gertie and Jody, you know?
Honestly. And this broke my fucking heart. Logan, her son, says he wants to fix her and Daddy. And she said he shouldn't have to worry about that. I just said this to Leo last week or 2 weeks ago when I was recovering from my surgery. You know, he said that he was so worried about me. And I said, I appreciate that, honey, but I never want you to worry about me or Papa. That's our job. That's our job, is to worry about things. And I know that it's human to worry, but I hate when kids feel like they have to take on the burden of grown-ups. And it speaks the empathy of both my son and Lisa's son.
Yeah. Well, and I do think that is something that our society could stand to adjust, especially when it comes to divorce. Telling a kid not to worry when your family, every understanding you have of stability is being shattered in front of your eyes, it just isn't like we got a lot of that as kids of like, don't worry, it'll all be fine. And we were like, I guess, but like it has the go away effect as opposed to like, I've got you. I know this is scary. This is totally disruptive and not what any of us had planned, but I got you. Do you believe me? How can I help you really feel that? Let's work on that. Instead of like, it's okay, don't you worry, kiddo. It's like, but this is, and I'm not talking about your interaction with Leo it's much more reasonable to be like, mommy's got this. It's mommy's body. I know my body. I'm with my doctors, blah, blah, blah. But when a divorce is happening, but I also don't think anyone going through the divorce has the bandwidth to do what I just suggested. So like, I don't fucking know. Divorce is just traumatic on everybody involved. Every member of the immediate and extended family feels the effect of something like that. And especially with a see you next Tuesday like Lenny. driving
Gross.
the ship. He was
Honestly.
awful from jump. Remember when he was like sitting in the bed yelling at her a few seasons ago? Like, ugh, get out of my house. He's just awful.
He's
Anyways.
disgusting. He's diabolical. He has diabolical blood in his veins.
Mm.
So the Color Me Mine group votes that they don't want Lisa on the plane. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, you guys. Like, come
For
on.
22 minutes?
It is so
Put in your
disgusting.
AirPods and calm down. You're on a private plane in Spain. What is wrong with these people?
I know. And then the art history group consensus is Lisa should unfollow Marcus. And Gertie says it's the root of your issues. Just do it. And here is where Lisa and I spot it. I got it. She said that she's not going to let Larsa Pippen tell her what to do. And I really felt this in my fucking soul. Adria comes in with her psychology degree and says, you don't want to unfollow him on Larsa's demand because that means she's winning.
But Adriana also had this excellent angle that I think really spoke to Lisa, where she said, you are allowing Larsa to use this to rally the group against you. If you do not unfollow, you are giving Larsa ammunition. And immediately Lisa's like, fine. I appreciated Lisa, I think, is like, she might be one of these ladies who emerges from her divorce as like a really unexpected new version of herself. I didn't recognize her in this episode. She had 1 hour to sign the affidavit. It was terrifying and stressful. She did it. She comes back to the table and then she sits down and calmly says, okay, Larsa, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about these text messages? Calmly says it. Now, look, does it go off the rails later? Absolutely. But like, she has some moments where I'm like, oh my God, look at you. You're more capable of being a functional adult than you've ever allowed yourself to be. Fascinating.
She did. I agree. I mean, obviously, if you and I are both having this experience of her when there's been years of experiencing her that has made me repelled, I mean, that's saying something. Not that you and I are the alpha and fucking omega of acceptable behavior, but
it's not just us. Like anybody who watches this show is like, Lisa Hochstein.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
She's hard to love.
Yes, she has been.
Speaking of pizza, as she like shames her young children for like having.
Oh God!
I mean, she was just awful.
It was awful.
But now she's gotten perspective of like she was sad, genuinely emotional, talking about her son's experience of this divorce and stuff. So I was like, all right then.
So at that moment, Lisa does, she, like you said, she unfollows Marcus, and then she has in her confessional, she says, and I thought this was really accepting the things you cannot change too, and also having like expect a miracle, but also, what's the saying? What is it? Like, basically she says, she does not expect this unfollowing of Marcus to elicit any change from Larsa towards her. But she did it anyway, So what, you know what I'm saying? Which element
for the best, but expect the worst kind of thing?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
No. Bless them, change me. I don't know. There's all this.
I so appreciate that. Like, do I want to be happy or do I want to be right? And maybe she was motivated because of Adriana saying that. Like, listen, dude, you're giving her ammo to use against you. Like, oh, okay, maybe that appealed to her. And fine, it's fine. But like, okay, now she doesn't have anything to lord over you.
But it's also like, as my sponsor in one of my programs says, like, it takes what it takes. At a certain point, I hit a limit with exhausting myself of needing to be right. At a certain point, I'm like, you know what? I'm so tired of making this case, presenting it thoughtfully. It's just like, okay. I put all of the energy that I have to give to this in, and now I'm spent. And so unfollow or whatever the equivalent might be.
Chock full. So later that day, back at the hotel, I assume it's on a rooftop or something, Julia and Marisol are convening to have a discussion with Lisa about the trip to Marbella. And Marisol says, Margie, she says she has to relax with some boozy sedative before she and Julia have a conversation with Lisa to tell her that she can't come on the plane. I couldn't fucking believe it. Boozy sedative.
So honest, but I did notice that moment because I keep looking for like what's different about Marisol than Sutton. Sutton would have tried to hide that. Marisol is just like, before I have this conversation, I need to be sedated, and I choose this dark brown liquor to get me there. Thank you. You know?
Yeah, you're right. That's a good
And
point.
she doesn't become a completely unrecognizable assholic version of herself.
You're
She
right.
literally, some people use alcohol the way I use taking a walk. Like it actually has the effect of like calming you down.
Oh my God, you're so right. Because Marisol's personality never shifts. At least it hasn't yet. It's a progressive disease. We'll see what happens. TBD. And also, I can't decide. I can't say if she's a problem drinker or not.
But
Like
she
that's
doesn't
not
hide it. She doesn't have
right.
ocean spray in her purse. She's
You're
not
right.
like
Oh my
getting
God.
roadies and you know what I mean? Like Sutton would have had a roadie on whichever, if she went to the tile store or to roam the city. She would have absolutely had some sort of solo cup and it would have been weird. Anyways.
Very, very, very good point. So Julia tells Lisa the reason why they're going to Marbella. And Lisa tells them, I will be on my best behavior if this is in fact the reason that you guys called me to have this conversation. And again, like she's basically throwing herself at the mercy of the court this entire remainder of this trip that we've seen so far. She's not completely clueless. She has a soul in there. She has some self-awareness. She has some humility. And it must feel, I'm projecting as fuck, I'm going to say this right now. I wonder if it were me, I would feel like, oh shit, I'm making myself so vulnerable by owning my shortcomings that have affected this group on this trip. Are they going to use it against me at some point? But she's doing it anyway. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I think she also has just been like the value of listening. I think she's heard everyone say, like, and she doesn't disagree. You've made this trip. This trip has been in large part about you and your legal drama. You were late. You did not make the original flight with us. The second you landed and touched down, you were panicking about a notary. Yet another dinner has happened where you had to walk off in tears to deal with more legal stuff. And that's not like it's Lisa's fault, but if I were Lisa, I would be aware of how my circumstances were impacting a trip that was not supposed to be tainted like this. So I appreciated her for just being like, I get it. I'm happy to make this 22-minute flight and whatever time we have on the ground there not dramatic to the best of my ability. And then Marisol suggests that Lisa will be putting her phone in a basket, and this is for everyone's peace of mind so that they don't have to worry. Everyone's high alert about Lisa taking notes. And Lisa, I appreciated her objection. Again, she's in such a vulnerable state. She's like, I am a mom of 2 children. I'm in Spain. And I don't remember who it was, but somebody was like, well, who's there taking care of them? It's like, I think if I were a mom going through a divorce, I don't think I care who's boots on the ground. I think if something goes wrong, I want to know because you know who's there? Lenny, the guy who's trying to fucking screw me. If I don't answer my phone, that's going in a court document. Oh, Lisa was on vacation. She couldn't be bothered to answer her phone when one of the kids burned himself on the stove. So she's a negligent mother. Like everything is so intense in that moment. Like I get it by people saying like, isn't there someone there to take care of the kids? Of course. But if I'm Lisa in that moment in my life, you're never getting my phone away from me. I'm not even a mom, but like I just can't even imagine like the intensity of that ask. Like
Right.
she can just say like I won't take notes. Someone else can or whatever. Just like I'll put the ringer on so you guys can hear if someone calls and you'll understand why I'm taking it. But like, no.
Honestly. Yeah. I mean, Julia has Martina at home.
Right. Who's trustworthy and they're still in a partnership and yeah.
God willing. Yes. Trustworthy, God willing. Yes. But yeah, Lisa has nobody.
And I'm with her. Like Jody is not their father. And again, that will be used in court against her. Lisa went to Spain and disconnected and sent her weird coked out boyfriend, her air conditioning boyfriend to look out. Like she cannot make any mistakes. Lenny is waiting for her. Lenny is tenting his fingers and tapping them together, going like, come on, fuck up so I can pull more money away from you or punish you by taking the kids away from you. It's
You're
terrible.
so right. You're so right. She's got to
situation.
feel like the weight of the world on her. Yeah,
And screw these
absolutely.
women for being concerned about her taking notes. She has bigger fish to fry, you guys. She's not going to sue you while she's trying to like retain custody of her children and have some money to live on. So Lenny doesn't just, drop kick her into the ocean.
So gross. These women are
Mhm.
bullies. They're acting like bullies. They're acting like completely unempathetic bullies. And she leaves. She's like, listen, I can't deal with this. I'm not going to dinner tonight. Bye. Message received. Bye. Okay. And then instead of feeling like shit about herself for making someone feel so bad, Julia says, this is what I'm afraid of if Lisa comes. Fuck you. Also, you can't control shit, man. None of us can. You can
Right.
plan all you want for how this Marbella trip is going to go. And guess what? There might be a fucking fuel shortage and you can't even fucking go on this goddamn jet.
Hey, Julia,
Something.
remember at Marisol's wedding reception when you threw a glass of water in someone's face? Like, dude.
Yep. Yep.
Sometimes shit goes left, other times things go smoothly. So if asking these gentlemen to be the godfather is really coming with this much import, then you should go alone because none of these women can be trusted. Okay?
Aye, aye, aye. So later that day, the group is gathering to leave for dinner. Lisa tells the group waiting in the lobby, I'm running 5 minutes late. Why don't you guys go and I'll meet you there? Okay. So she is giving them the option. Here, I'm running late. You can choose to leave. I am giving you full permission. I understand I'm not going to take up this group waiting for me.
And it alleviated the concern about her taking notes in the Sprinter van or whatever. So at this stage, at this moment in time, I'm on Lisa's side. When 5
Absolutely.
minutes turns into 2 hours, she loses me a little bit.
I
But at this
know.
moment, I was like, yeah, good for you.
Totally. So yeah, we see a flashback to Lisa and Marisol FaceTiming earlier in the evening, and Marisol hadn't convinced her to go. So in a confessional, Lisa says she's not going to let Larsa drive her out of this group. Adriana pops her head into Julia's Sprinter van and just nopes out. And Julia says, oh, she didn't even make eye contact with me. No, because you're not a safe fucking person. Goodbye. No. Give me a reason to make eye contact with you. You give me a reason to want to be scared of you and go away. You're not a safe person, Julia. Adriana's taken enough. She has a psychology degree. She knows just to take care of herself. Oops,
And also,
wrong
either way, to
van.
be honest, if I walk up to a van that's full of people, I'm going to be like, oh, let me go to the other one, assuming
Right.
it will be. And it wasn't. It was still just as full. But like, Julia can also stop making everything about herself. Thank you very
Victim,
much.
victim, victim,
Thank
victim.
you.
Yeah, absolutely. So then they arrive at the restaurant, and there is a flashback to Alexia making her tile at Seville Coloring Mine. And it's an A and a heart and a T and something about a turtle. Oh my God. Like
Turtles
it's-
of St. Bart's, like it was very.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So
That's what-
clearly
yeah.
the trip is about distracting Alexia from Todd, but Todd is still very much in the forefront of her mind and her heart. Marisol tells the group about her and Julia's conversation with Lisa. Again, Lisa is not at this dinner, but she's filling them in. Adriana takes this opportunity to tell them that Lisa unfollowed Marcus. And Gertie reminds her, hey, listen, we made a pact that we were not going to tell the group that she did this. And then there is the flashback to Lisa sharing her fear that someone was going to spill it. And sure enough, Adriana did. And so
But like,
Lisa,
why was that a big deal?
I think it was probably because it would have, listen, Lisa's like, okay, I'll do it, but let's not tell her. Let's just have this be like, oh, she did. Okay, like not make it a big deal. Okay, she did unfollow him.
I did
know?
also believe Adriana when she was like, I don't know, I was zoned out. And then when they showed the flashback, she is just sort of like staring off into the middle distance. And I was like, well, I don't know. With Adriana, you never fucking know.
So Lisa joins them. It's very awkward. And in her confessional, Larsa says, who shows up 2 hours late and acts like everything is okay? I don't know. I don't think she's acting like she's okay. I think she's acting tentative, like I'm walking into a lion's den and I'm just going to, all I can do is show up.
But again, if it were you or me, we would be like, I don't know how 5 minutes turned into 2 hours. I am so sorry to have left you guys here waiting. You must be starving. Let's eat. You know,
Yeah.
you would open with like an acknowledgement of the difference between 5 minutes and 2 hours. You know, it's crazy, Lisa.
And here is where it starts to shit the bed. All of Adriana's goodwill. Kiki tells Lisa that Adriana spilled the beans about Marcus. And Adriana tells Kiki to stop being ratchet.
And then, but this is where I got lost because I cannot tell if Adriana knows what ratchet means. If she does,
speaks 7 languages.
You're right. Because if she does, then it is a disgusting microaggression.
She knows. She
but
knows.
I maybe the editors did their work on me because as it went on and Gertie read the definition, which has 40 different meanings, some positive, some negative, I'm only aware of the negative association. So I was like, ugh. But then by the end, I was like, I guess I don't know. I don't know. But it was all bad. It was not, there's so many other words you could choose. You could say messy. You could say tattletale. There's a million other ways to broach this.
Yes. When a Black woman is concerned, abso-fucking-lutely there is.
Yes.
And the table, there are, factions of this table that are rightly fucking pissed about this and telling Adriana as such. And then Julia, who is the white lady who has 2 Black sons and is married to a fucking transphobe, has the caucasity to say that Kiki is over fucking reacting. I don't hate Julia. Oh, but I see her. I see her with fresh, young eyes through glasses that are very squeaky clean. There ain't no smudges. Like, I see her. She's
karmically,
gross.
It made me think because when she said that, I was like, oh, Julia, just be quiet. If you can't, if nothing else, just butt the fuck out. But it did make me think back to earlier in the tile scene. They were talking about drawing, and she reported that one of her sons took a rock to the paint of her car and drew on it. I was like, ooh, your son keyed your car because somewhere karmically he knows that you're doing terrible shit and you should suffer a consequence. So there you go.
I just hope he didn't get in trouble.
I hope
really
not.
do.
But you can't. It's
not.
It's a kid. They don't know. They don't understand
I know.
paint finish.
I know that, and you know that.
I know.
But to someone like Julia,
I don't know. I
know
hope so.
exactly. So I went to a dark place. So yes, Gertie in her confessional is Googling what ratchet means, and the definition comes up: low class or out of control, used in a disparaging way. And I firmly believe and would state this in a court of law and tell it to Adriana's fucking face and Julia's face that was the intention of the word.
Yeah, you're right. Context-wise, she wasn't saying, you're a ratchet. Ratchet it up, you ratchety ratchet. She was saying, don't be, it was a slam. It was not,
absolutely.
You're quite right.
I mean, even in Stephanie's confessional, she says, there's no way Adriana meant that. Did she? I hope not.
It landed.
Elicited, yes.
However,
it did.
I will say, I did feel again badly for Gertie because Adriana goes, stop being ratchet. And everybody goes, oh! And I was like, you guys, Julia threw water on Gertie's face, dress, and nobody gasped then? And look, I'm not saying neither is worse, but they're at least equal. Where was this outrage when Julia absolutely, to use Gertie's word, humiliated her in a public space? Yucky.
Completely.
Yucky.
Completely. So Alexia even says, I mean, come on, y'all. Stephanie and Alexia are saying this is wrong. What more do you need?
It's pretty bad.
Right? Someone saying ratchet is basically them saying the same thing as saying that it means ghetto. Even Pips is like, that's the wrong fucking word. And then Kiki tells Adriana, you are too old to be talking like this to people. And at that point, Julia tells Kiki to stop because I do believe that Julia and Adriana are the same age. So I can understand where the ageism is coming up. I believe that, and I don't think that I'm twisting it to fit my narrative and my opinions on Kiki. I believe that Kiki meant this in the vein of, you know better than this, Adriana. You know better.
I think it's both. I would have done the same thing. I would have been, because if I had been, you know better, I would have said, you know better. But if I was in this position against Adriana, I would say, you're too old to be talking like this, knowing that that word is going to cut. Because I'm a bitch, you know? And it also, there's plausible deniability. So like, I can be a real monster too. But I'm also on Team Kiki. Yes, absolutely. Get a swing in. This hateful monster across the table should absolutely feel some degree of the sting she just slapped on your face, you know?
And
Ick.
honestly, yeah, Marisol comes in with her confessional and says, this is a typical Adriana, karma. And then we see the fucking flashbacks to the yacht. And like, Adriana said 10 times worse things than Kiki just saying, you're too old for this. So
Because at least Kiki's in context had a purpose. Adriana going like, get your old knees plastic surgery. And was like,
right?
what are you
Just out of the
doing?
blue. So gnarly.
So drunk. Oh,
It was
God.
so gnarly.
Yeah.
So Larsa suggests they bring some reasonableness back to this dinner, and Lisa apologizes to everyone for the day before. She was dealing with real stuff. She offers to have them take her phone, and she tells them the backstory of why she's been taking notes for the last 2 years, because of lawyers telling me to take a note of everything just in case. Like, duh, you know? But she has to point it out with this group. Adriana then interrupts and says, oh, sorry, this is so random and also
so
like such a
insane.
reach,
I
right?
loved it.
Insanity, totally. She says, oh, sorry, everyone. I've got to go back to Miami so I can take care of Lisa's kids because that's what grandmothers do. Like, no one has called you a grandmother. No one thinks that
It's
you're the
also
grandmother.
so over. Why are you still on that, Adriana? We've moved on.
Completely. So Stephanie gets up and says this is the third dinner that they've all ruined.
Ruined.
Adriana gets up to leave. Alexia tells everyone they're crazy, and she doesn't want anyone to know they're American. Like, okay, Alexia, again, when we are hearing these reasonable things coming out of mouths that 9 times out of 10 espouse completely insane things, what?
I was dying because as Adriana's making this big stink about leaving, and then Stephanie's like, this is embarrassing, I'm going. And Adriana gets right on Stephanie's tail and is like, yeah, we're leaving. And Stephanie wheels around and is like, I'm not going with you. Like, you're also embarrassing. And then somehow Lisa gets up to leave and she trips on a chair and she turns around and goes, how dare you? Oh, it was the chair. Oh, sorry, everybody. Drinks on the house. No, drinks on us. We'll Venmo you. I don't know. Like everyone was just like panicking. It was total chaos. It was like noises off scene. I just was dying laughing at these exits. And they all started from the most nonsensical outburst ever with Adriana going, I'm going back to Miami to be a grandmother and take care of your kids. It was crazy. It was just
Completely.
cascading insanity. And I was like, I was on the ride. I was like, I love this. I have no idea what's happening, and I love it.
Oh my God, just absolute chaos, absolute mess in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
So, Alexia, Marisol, Stephanie, and Larsa leave. Stephanie is crying. This is what's pushing her over the edge of all the things that have gone on these 11 episodes before this one. And in her confessional, she says, Alexia is showing up for me.
I mean, I felt a little bit for Stephanie in this moment just because it is the tonnage of embarrassment. Like 3 public dinners like have now been ended in like yelling matches. It's like at a certain point I would probably lose my shit too. But
Yeah.
she's again unforgivable because the very next thing she does is sit everyone down to talk about seating assignments and confinements for her 22-minute plane flight. You know who shouldn't go, Stephanie? You. You're the problem at this point. You either got to be able to let people on your plane for 22 minutes or just don't let anyone on your plane. You fly your plane separately and they can all take a bus and meet you there. This is stupid. And I actually appreciated Marisol for being like, huh? Like Stephanie hands out invitations for those she wants to come on the plane. And I don't know if it's some like liability waiver or NDA or I don't know what the hell, but
At one
Marisol
point,
was
she
like, no.
says, I'm afraid they're going to take a knife to my seats. Are you fucking kidding? Like,
Oh, she said, she's like, well, if people get upset, then they're going to like dress wearing, in zippers and, ruin my upholstery. I was like, you should not have this plane. If you're so rich, then every time you ride the plane, it should be brand new, fresh upholstery. Like, why is zipper damage a thing? Like, I can't, then don't let anyone use it. It's like, don't be so precious with your toys.
it's insane. Marisol tells the group she does not want to go if it's going to be like this. Larsa, she's got that matchbook ready, man. She's torn out that match and she's just waiting for the answer when she says, should we text the seating arrangement in the group chat? The larcenist. The larcenist in action.
Yep.
And then Marisol, again, boozy sedative, just, rolls right into her saying, this is why I drink so much, so my spirit doesn't break.
And I felt that. I was like, this would be a lot to take. Stephanie is a lot to take. And she insists on herself. And I too would be like, you know what? I'm not signing your paperwork. I'm not working with you on a seating chart for a 22-minute flight. I'm not doing this. This so much is crazy. And this is extra crazy.
Wow. Chock full. Everything.
So good.
This episode had everything. Color Me Mine in Spain.
That's insane.
Insane. Friend, what else did you watch?
I watched, so I don't think we talked about it. I watched that documentary on The Biggest Loser, which I found absolutely fascinating. I forget what it's called, but it was great. It's 3 parts and it's just such a glimpse into like what we found to be acceptable / entertainment a mere 20 years ago. Like it's wild because I watched every episode of that show and I rooted for them. And how am I, as someone with an eating disorder, so blind to the absolute abuse that these people were being put through? I remember at the reveal at the end that I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't feel right. But in the course of the series, I was always like, I found it so compelling. And I loved Bob Harper on The Traitors, and I have done a whole 180 after watching this. I don't know if I'm fickle or if one of my reads is wrong, but like, holy crap. Unapologetic and really, really tough stuff in his interview segments. And then I started watching, my Mormon programming, my Welcome to Plathville, which is like the most depressing, upsetting. Do not watch it. I cannot not recommend it enough, but I'm invested now, so I'm in. And then we talked about it also, you and I on the phone, and just like that series finale, which was just literally and figuratively a turd. Period.
And not even a turd that you find funny and you think turds and farts are fucking hilarious.
I am always on board, especially for a story-driven poop or fart, but this was like offensive to me. Like that is you are scraping the bottom of the barrel if I'm clutching my pearls. And I was just like it was atrocious. It was so disappointing. Really, really like gravely disappointing. I was on TikTok and there are people who've compiled all these scenes from Sex and the City episodes that I know you know well. They were so well written, so honest and true to female friendship, so true to the experience of being that age and unmarried or unsettled, or like there was a scene of Miranda with her new baby where this woman brought her a vibrating chair for the baby and just says to her, "You're not a bad mom. You just didn't know about the chair." And Miranda cries. And I was like, oh, this show used to be so good. And they used to write women so well. And then we end on Victor Garber's fucking backed up shit. I just was like, I was sad. So
it's nice to feel validated. I have been thinking, I also watched that show. Obviously, I watched it.
Sex and the City, you mean?
The end just like that finale, yes.
Oh, sure, yes.
And then in order to palate cleanse, and also because I had so much time on my hands, I watched the Sex and the City movies 1 and 2, both absolutely terrible, but just as comfort. And also I needed a palate cleanser. I needed something to remind me. So I know that we have been the common vernacular to use as people that watch this show is hate watching. I thought, again, because I had a lot of time on my hands to think about this, I don't know if it was hate watching as much as it was, this is going to be the episode that restores my faith. It was hope watching. We wanted it to be what it was. Not that it was perfect. Carrie is so self-centered. Oh my God. So many things to critique that the first iteration of Sex and the City about. I understand that. I'm just saying, as far as like characters that comfort us, that were a huge influence in the zeitgeist for certain generations, we held on to that. And so it's like, okay, the next episode, it's like being with an addict. They're going to really hear me this time after this argument. They're going to change. It was hope. We wanted hope. The ego and the hubris, it's the most frustrating thing to get these these Michael Patrick King, Sarah Jessica Parker, some of the writers, they just refuse to understand. And the viewers and our disappointment, our vocal disappointment, that's on us. Just absolutely no culpability or responsibility. And I think what's even more infuriating, again, had a lot of time on my hands to think, and I got real dark in my thinking. People forget the crew, the people that make this show possible, the gaffers, the boom boys, oh God, help me out, Margie. What are some other, the DPs, just all of the crew, not the cast, not the writers, the crew. They could have relied on this job for years to come. It is a built-in success given the canon that comes with it. But instead of keeping them employed by listening to fans, Sarah Jessica Parker and Michael Patrick King decided to take the livelihood away from people that you would walk by on the street and not know the contribution they make to the show that's beloved. They took it away from them. Contrast that to what you shared about Danny McBride, I don't know how many episodes back, where even though Gemstones is done, he's developing another show so that his crew in South Carolina can continue to feed their families and pay their mortgages and send their kids to school and eat. Michael Patrick King and Sarah Jessica Parker are million upon millionaires. They don't need to worry about their mortgage or feeding their fucking families, but they don't give a fuck. And that kept me up at night because I had a lot of time on my hands. And rant. I also watched Sirens. Fucking brilliant. I started The Gilded Age. Amazing. Okay, I know it's Julian Fellows and Downton Abbey was so fucking good. This is different. I have to adapt. Whatever, but I do like it so far. I started Love is Blind UK. Oh my God, at one point in my recovery, I was so desperate that I watched Marry Me, that tragic J-Lo movie with Owen Wilson. Oh God. Yeah, yes.
I didn't even know it happened.
I know.
That's how much promo it got.
I'm horrified. Don't look at me. I get it. I'm a monster. No, it's fine. I can poke fun at myself. I think also at that point I had watched so many shows that had been in New York and I just wanted more in New York. You know, I wanted more in New York. That movie took place in New York. I watched the Big Mouth finale finally, cried, loved it. Sad, so sad to say goodbye to Lola Scumpy. Oh my God, just one of the most brilliant characters, animated or not, to come out of television since its inception, in my opinion. And of course, I watched The Real Housewives of Orange County, which is a nightmare. It really is terrifying and terrible,
and it gets worse and worse every episode. I'm like, oh my God, you guys.
Agreed. Friend, what was your antidepressant?
My antidepressant was a college friend of mine was in town, and she was raised in Palos Verdes, just south of here. And we were trying to figure out where to meet. Anyways, we wound up having lunch in Venice on Abbot Kinney on like a gorgeous sunny Saturday afternoon, which was an insane move for like two middle-aged women. It was just like packed with like young 20-year-old influencers. We were like, what are we doing here? Neither of us know how to go out anymore. But it was so wonderful. And she's a classmate of my friend who passed just around this time last year. And we were just we spent a lot of time talking about And this was something I learned in like my death doula work, and now I'm getting to apply it, of how valuable like legacy is. Like the qualities of our dear friend Gavin that we are noticing in ourselves more and cultivating in ourselves more. Like even this lunch, like we've been in this proximity before a million times over the last 20 years or whatever, and haven't done anything about it. And this time it was a priority for both of us. We put it on the calendar. We were both there like on time, like couldn't wait. And it was just really like lovely. Sometimes I can get distracted by what success means in this lifetime. And Gavin was a very successful human being, but he valued people and time more than anything else. And I was really, it just felt like a lovely way to spend time with my friend and a lovely way to honor Gavin in that way, to be like, and we both felt so rich after that. There's absolutely nothing more valuable than time with human beings that I adore. And I don't understand why it works out that you don't get more time with some and you get allowances of time with others. But that math is not up to me. And so I'm just so grateful that both of us sat down on this weird, insanely busy, gorgeous afternoon on Abbot Kinney and just adored each other. We'd gone to summer camp together, and we told each other like, I never told you, but here's what I loved about you when we were in camp together. And and we both said it back and forth to each other, because suddenly there's this urgency of like, just in case something ridiculous and unfair befalls, let me just make sure that you know that since I was 14 years old, I've admired this about you. And you meant everything to me my junior year in college, and here's why. And it was so, I don't know. I can't even tell you how I don't even remember what I ate. And for me, that's unusual, because the conversation was such I don't know. It was just beautiful. I love you, Heather. It was so good to see you. Anyways, that was my antidepressant.
Oh, Margie, I love that. I really needed to hear that perspective. I really did. That's so beautiful.
Yeah. And it's just invaluable on both to receive acknowledgement of who you are and how someone you care about sees you was everything. And I also can't tell you how meaningful it was to get to say everything, to be like, I don't know why I've sat on this for years, but you should absolutely know that these are things that are in my mind and have been, some since we were 14, some when we were 20. And this day will mean everything to me from here on out, because we got to do this. It was so fun. It's so energizing to tell someone you love them and why. It just is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. Oh, I love that.
Gavin Creel's legacy, baby. He lives, he lives. And how about you? What was your antidepressant in a pretty challenging couple of weeks?
My antidepressant is that I am not depressed. It was just healing. It wasn't depression. It was just regular ass, run of the mill, average ass healing. I had too much time on my hands to think, and my body fucking hurt and did not feel familiar. Hello, period, end of sentence. I layered so much onto it that I was unnecessary. Oh, well, not perfect yet. And I think at some point I was able to even name it oh, I'm in that headspace. I just have too much time to think. That's it. That's all that's happening, Ramona. That's it. And my family and my friends that reached out to ask me how I was doing and send me love and prayers. And my mom came down to help me and my family. And that was really kind and generous of her. And that's my antidepressant. Yeah.
I love
the
it.
people that took care of me on the way, and then feeling like I'm, 95%. So yes. And I'm so glad to be back doing this. I feel a little clunky, a little rusty, but I'm still thrilled. Yeah.
I mean, and they gave us, God, these women really delivered. What a ride.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we still have more Spain to go. I'm so excited.
I know. And it's weird. They did change the night on us. Now it's Thursday night instead of Wednesday, which is just so, I don't understand Bravo sometimes, but I'm sure they have their reasons that we'll figure out soon enough. Again, Salt Lake City is coming in a mere weeks. So that'll be fucking great.
I'm thrilled.
Me too. Me too. Very excited. Friend, I love you. It was
I
so
love you
great to talk to
too.
you before we hit record. It was great to talk to you while we were recording. And obviously, it'll be great to talk to you whenever I get to talk to you.
Yes, but
So
I'm just so happy to see you, get eyes on you healing and recovering. And
thank you.
yeah,
Thank
just
you.
as I told you, and I'll tell everyone else, like there's nothing better than looking after your own health. So I'm so grateful you got this taken care of, and I'm so grateful you're uh, well on your way through recovery.
Me
So
too. Me too. I'm so
thank
happy I get
God.
to eat again. I have been so hungry for so long. And like, I finally am eating and it's just
Yay.
fucking great.
Without the
Anyway, I'm
looming
very
threat of
grateful
your
to eat.
body having a,
Yes.
yeah,
Being mad
attack.
at me. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Everyone, thank you so much for rolling with the punches as we had to modify our schedule. It's very much appreciated. Take care of yourself in whatever way feels good to you. And if we have, if you have any takeaways from this episode, Margie, it's what you just shared. Like share it now while you can, face to face, across from someone on Abbot Kinney over lunch, over a fucking salad. I'm assuming. Just kidding. Just kidding. It's Abbot Kinney.
I literally don't remember what I ate. I think there was an egg
Aw,
involved.
amazing.
Didn't care.
Or wherever, or wherever you end up. Yeah. Thanks again. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Ramona and Margie are, obviously, not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
My mom isn't a doctor.